Hello, this is Malorian, and now this will be the second game of the Out of the Basement Open Tournament, and this time will be Orcs up against some Lizardmen. So this game here was another little adaptation of one of the main book's missions, and what it is, if you take Dawn Attack, instead of going and rolling randomly for every single unit, what you do is you break up your army into 3 different groups. Then from there, you take one group, you roll it, and there's basically an even chance for it to be in any of the 3 zones. Then you take another group, and it's an even chance of it being in any one of the other 2 zones, and then obviously the last group goes into the last zone. So what it does is it really makes it random where anything will be. However, you can guarantee that certain elements will be together. So say like how I want my troll to be with my general, well, it's guaranteed. So I think that's a really good change to it. And one of the things also worked out very well here is that I basically got the deployment that I wanted to have. So what it is first of all, let's go over my opponent's army. This is a guy I've played before, so I know exactly what he has in his army, and I know this guy. This was when I got this matchup, I wasn't too pleased because this is a guy that I would expect to win the tournament, and so facing him right now was not a good thing for me. I mean, if I want to go on forward and have a very strong standing, I'd hope to maybe face him at the very end, but to face him so early meant that, I mean, now all of a sudden I could take a big loss and it would not be all that great for me. But anyway, what he has here is he has his one slan that has the usual thing. He knows everything from the lore of life, cupped hands, ignores all my 6s, all that usual stuff. He's in Temple Guard. He also has an Engine of the Gods, which I thought was pretty unusual, but he loves it. A big block of Saurus, and then 2 units of Skinks. 1 unit of Skinks is on the far right outside this picture. And really what I saw going into this is that even though I wasn't really too pleased to be facing such a strong player so early, I really thought that I really stood a very good chance at winning this game. Because the way that I saw it playing out is that in the early turns, I have to take out the Skinks on the right. So I'll dedicate my Doom Divers to that. They're going to really do a pounding to them. And then really, if they don't panic because they're so far away from the slan, my Chariots and Wolf Riders can try and keep them back too. So once I deal with that threat, and kind of during that as well, then I start raining down death on his main unit, because really all he has with Lore of Life is he has Dwellers, which even though is really good, that's the only thing I need to stop. Meanwhile, what I can do, and he has to be kind of close for that too, meanwhile what I can do is stay at the back of the board and just rain down Foot of Gork. And, just go and smash him with that. And the other thing too is, whereas if he gets off Dwellers on me, there's a 2/3 chance that my level 4 will be just fine. If I get Foot of Gork on whatever unit he doesn't put on Flesh to Stone, I'm going to smash it. So that's really great. And then what I can do too is stay out of his range for ignoring my 6s. I'll just stay back, I'll move up my hordes, and if he ever tries pushing ahead to get me in that zone, well, then I can just go and charge his Temple Guard. So he'll be in a very hard spot. I'll be wearing him down, charge him in the last couple of turns, boom, get the win. So I skipped his first turn because really it's just moving up and casting some spells that didn't really matter. But on my side, this is where I had it, kind of a little seeing of how this game was going to go. Because the very first thing I have is first Doom Diver, misfire, explode. Second Doom Diver, misfire, explode, and bam. That's great. Now, my best way of dealing with the Skinks is gone, and not only, had this not happened, I could just kill the Skinks and win the game. He would be on the whole thing where he has to move up or else I'm going to win. Now it's the other way around. Now I need to make something happen or else I'm going to lose. Otherwise, at the end of my turn 1, it looks like this. So you can see that he has, Earth Blood or whatever up on his Temple Guard, Flesh of Stone up on his Saurus, no big deal. I go to do Foot of Gork on him, and I fail to cast it. It was, whatever. It's 6 dice trying to get 14, but that's the way it goes. And so otherwise, my units are just moving up. His turn 2, and now his Skinks are moving up. My one Chariot there is just down to 1 wound, so that's not very good. At least I can shoo 1 away with my Wolves, but one of the things that really hurt here is, like I said, I'm going to really need to try and be aggressive this turn. And so what that really comes down to then is needing to get into his Saurus and killing them. So one of the things that I thought that I saw as a possible mistake is that his Saurus were moved up a little bit far because he didn't know I had the +1 movement banner. So whereas he thought a charge was less than likely, it actually is, on average dice, I would be able to make it. So that was fantastic. And so what I did is that when he went for the Flesh to Stone, I used my scroll on it. Then when he went to go Dwellers Me, I went to go and stop it with all my dice, and I failed. So he smashes my blackguard, or my black orcs, and you can see I lost a whole bunch of them. So all of a sudden now, I can't even win that combat, even if I got in there. So that was pretty unfortunate. My turn 2, and this was just a horrible turn. The very best thing that happened in this turn is that my one set of wolves charged his skinks and they ran away. That's pretty much the best I got. Animosity wise, my bunker picks a fight with the other wolves, so not only do I not have a magic phase, but those wolves were planning to rush up to redirect if needed. Now they're stuck in place, and otherwise all 4 of those units up there all tried charging. The savage one I needed 11, but hey, might as well try, and if they get there I can kick some butt. But I thought, hey, maybe if I can have the Black Orcs and a Chariot, then maybe I can get by. Maybe it can work. But no, all 4 units failed to charge in. I don't get a magic phase, and things just aren't happy for the Orcs. So his turn 3, and he charges in his Temple Guard. I felt kind of lucky they didn't go for the Engine of the Gods as well. But the main thing is that once he gets some buffs up or something here, I really won't stand a chance, and then this will be 500 points down the drain. And then with his magic phase, not only does he get up all the buffs that he needs, because I just can't stop his magic, not even to stop one spell to save my life, but, he also has his Engine of the Gods coming up to get me with some laser beams, and he also hits me with some Dwellers, and luckily, my characters don't die, but it's just kind of showing you how things are really falling apart over here. End of his turn 3, then, it looks like this. My Black Orcs were beaten and ran down, and his Saurus are just there waiting for a fight. My turn 3 then, I try and do the charge with the savages. In order to do this, I fail. I think I need an 8 or something, but yeah, I fail, don't get in. So the one nice thing that I had going for me though is that even though I was outside of range with my troll, I passed my stupidity. So that's good. He was able to run up and block things. My Orc Chariot is up there ready to support as well. My characters have abandoned the bunker because I don't want to be dwellered again. And then my bunker moved out of range to be charged. And then my Wolf Riders are just there trying to threaten the skinks just because lone characters are sitting ducks for those skink units. Alright, so now this is his turn 4, and this was a pretty interesting exchange. Now, something you can do that's kind of fun with the Lore of Life for defense against it is that people will go and cast Throne of Vines, and then they'll feel that they're safe from miscasts. Well, the big thing is that you can try and dispel a remains in play if it wasn't cast on that turn at any time you want. So what you do is you wait for them to cast another spell, get their double 6, and instead of trying to dispel that spell, you stop the remains in play. So you actually do take the miscast. So that's what happens here, but then he goes to use the cup hands. And I said, well, you can't see me. Well, even though it's not in the 45, it is from like his eyes going sideways to my guy. He could see me, so whatever. Cupped hands, he gives it to me. It's the worst one, the Dimensional Cascade. Luckily, I just take a wound. I'm not sucked into the warp. But what happens after this, kind of like a poetic justice, is that he miscasts again, and this time he loses 3 wizard levels. So just kind of a crazy, miscast, pass off a miscast, get another miscast type turn. Otherwise, it looks like this. The skinks on the bottom are dead. Luckily, he was just out of range to shoot my other wolves here. I think he just forgot to measure. And he's just coming up, dwellering my savages and killing a whole rank plus some there, and taking a few wounds off my chariot as well with some laser beams. My turn 4, there's not much I can really do. My savages don't want to charge into his Saurus up there because they have the toughness spell up, and so I just have to kind of sit there still, reform so I can look at the Temple Guard as well. I do send in the chariot into his Engine of the Gods so I can kill his one level 1 priest up there, and I managed to do that. And otherwise, I'm just rejoining my group there, the bunker, so that my characters don't get killed by these skinks. His turn 5 then, so what he does is he charges the troll, beats it, I run away, and he doesn't care. He just reforms to be 5 wide to face my savages and block me from the temple guard. He just didn't bother to turn all of his guys. I get lucky where he doesn't kill off my chariot, and then otherwise he shoots at my wolves and managed only to kill 1 thanks to their 4+ save. But the way that it's looking, I don't think I can threaten those skinks right now anyway. My turn 5, my only hope is to charge those Saurus and hope they fail a stubborn leadership 9 or 10, whatever it is. So I go in there, kill a whole bunch, but yeah, he's stubborn. And like I said, my wolves can't go after the skinks because they need to come over here and redirect his temple guard, but it didn't really matter because his engine of the gods goes and destroys my chariot, so it's going to get in there anyway. And so the only other thing I do is bring out my characters, so, you know, the whole dweller thing, but from over here I'm safe from the skinks. So his turn 6, he comes into here and just kills off my wolves and beats my savages, but at least I get away. There's something. And then on my turn 6, I just try and cast Foot of Gork and fail to cast. So at the end of the game, it was an easy massacre for Lizardmen. You know, it's pretty easy to double victory points when one side gets 0. But man, you know, it's just a type of game where you're just really disappointed when it's all done. Because really, it wasn't a very good game. It just kind of, everything just fell apart, and I felt there wasn't very much I could do. Coming into it, I had a great plan, I felt, and really, like I said, if I had to put money at the start of the game, I would put money on the Orcs. It seemed I had everything in my favor the way things were going. But then once the game started, I had my Doom Divers both explode, and then just everything else. I mean, I had my animosity problems. One of the biggest things you probably saw there is that there was no Foot of Gorking here. Out of the 6 turns, whenever I could, I'd try and 6 dice it, but the problem is that 1 turn was lost to animosity, 1 turn was lost to a scroll, 3 times I just failed to cast, so that's 6 dice just trying to get a 14, and I failed to do it, and then the other time I actually cast it, and it scattered off the unit, so it's just really, really bad luck, and, you know, some failed charges, and, you know, I can't get some casting values. He kept on getting dwellers with not, you know, he wasn't trying to 6 dice it or anything, but he kept on just making the value and all these things, and just, oh, couldn't believe it. And so even looking at the way the tournament was, all of a sudden now with a massacre loss over a 4-game type of tournament, I have no chance of winning best general or best overall anymore. So that was too bad, but hey, you know, if nothing else, I can look at trying to win more than I lose, and so we'll see how the next game goes. So see you soon. Bye.